that it Shuyadi.
Babi bearish.
Babil
he.
Babil Babil Lamang to Sech. The Namshe did that Jeremichi. Sundis Lamang Jibe Namshe, Lumere Wakuma Seti. Namshe Devaputi Jeremichi. Lamang Juba Devaputi Jaga Keva. Loving Baby.
Babi Deva, Babil Harish. So the our class so our class topic is commentary on 50 verses of Guru devotion. The root text was composed by Babi Deva, right? The Babi Deva, and the commentary was composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and the commentary is called, the title of the book is actually The Fulfillment of All Hopes, right? Hopes, students, hopes, the Guru devotion.
That Tambu Pande to Chisembe, Neto Juju Seti Pande Juju, Lame Shep Jipem, Jishin Ducheti, she so 20. That do see the budget, Pande to Chisembe, Neto Juju, Lame Shepji. Pemar Jishin to do this, that do say the Kubet jeans, Gala Tubani, Lame Shepji Pamela, Pemar Kubatella, the Gui Chamashu, Suni, Shindu Kuber Tembo, Stati, Lame Shepji Pemo said that.
Again, Lung Sorasta, one of my Densha, Lung Dosra. One of my Namukuru Mansuko.
Oh, yeah, what? That is Lung Sorichi. Lamang of Jubel, Namsheti Lung. What the Namsheti Cherumichi soon, Lamang of Jubel, Namshe. Lomero, Shijo, Society.
So, today our teaching is primarily I'm going to focus on the oral transmission, yeah? And the oral transmission would be Tsongkhapa's text. Text is called Lama Tsongkhapa means fulfillment of. I think the fulfillment of all the hopes, right? All students' hopes, something like that.
Yeah, that did it. That in Namu Guru Benzo Gogaya Seti, Lama Jambayana, Namu Seti Chaturba, Guru Seti Lama Che, Benzo Kosha Yasitu, Lama Jambayana, Chaturu Seti.
So the text starts with homage prayer. This is homage to Guru Manju Gosha. So that is being offered homage to Guru Manju Gosha.
That Jawa Kungi Yap to Jurjang, Jesse Shunuku, Jambe Sungi, Dung Jingjang, Duty Trapanze. That is Jawa Kungi Yap to Jurjang, Jesse Shunukus, Jawa Kungi, Chizun Jambe and the Jawa. Jawa Kungi Yap Sigirba. The Yap to Jurjang, Jesse Shunukus, number the Jesse Shunukus, Judu Nazu Judu Nazu number Chitemba, Jesse City, Chanju Sembe, Chanju Sembe Chusuma, Jesse City, Jawas. The Sangerva, the says to Chanju Sambasi. Shunuku, Jampa Yang, Jampa Sungi, Du, Jinga, Duty Jampa Zes, Jampa Yang, the Nedun Sanjeri, the number the Tanda Karasugre, Karasugre, Gese, Chusumare, the Jajus and the Chusumara, Gese said the Java Sanji, this says the Jajus and the Gese. Java Gungi yep to Gyumes, Java Tamjig yebre, Jitun Jambayan did Java Tamjig yep Siva. Java Tamje sang give a deity, Jitun Jambayan chi, Ikashin in there. Any Sanji Kuban topic Janja Ibri. Loval of Negasu. Java Tamje, Lovalam Jinegusu. Jidun Jambayang Shinyan Deni, Chi Shinyan Jidun Jambayang Siri. Di Shinyan Deni, Sanjab Janga Yinsa, Jawa Gunji Yep to Jurjansi, Jawa Tamji Yep to a rede, and number the Jarese, Jases to the Jeju Simba, Jeju Simbas, Susu Shunuku, Jambayang is Shuniku the caress and Chidun Jambaya. Sungi Jung Ji Jang, Duty Tabaje, Rua Tamje, Yasundan, Sisi Jibole, Uji Perteberede, and Jinja, Duty Tabaje, Dugi Deti, Tabantes. Dugi Deti, Shumberze Yerba, Jason Duty Karasa, Tabanze said, or did he?
So, okay, the translations, I'm going to just look at the Tibetan text, and I'm not going to follow English because it's making me confused a little bit. And also later on Rinpoche is going to read a little bit faster, so I may not able to catch up with him. Okay, so then I'll just stick with the Tibetan version and you can follow English. Okay, so we'll just do this maybe easier. The homage is the first homage is Gyawa Gungi Yap, right? Gyawa Gungi Yap Jurba. So this homage. This is a homage to the Manju Gosha, Manju Shui. So it said that you are the father of all the Buddhas. Okay? And then even though you are the father of all the Buddhas, but you are the son of the Buddhas. Okay, son of the Buddhas. So, but your what you call your appearances looks like or assumed as the son of Buddha. Yeah. So if he is called the father of Buddhas, means the past Buddhas and also the present Buddha and also the future Buddhas. All of these Buddhas are going to relying on the Manju Gosha. Okay, Manju Gosha as their external teacher. So they're going to take they have been taking Manju Gosha as their external teacher, and it is happening, and it's going to be happening. So that's why we call him the father of Buddhas. Yeah, father of Buddhas. But even though he is father of Buddhas, but he appears as very youthful appearances, which is actually looks like the son of Buddha. Okay, so his appearance is like that. And then the Jampa Sungi, the second line, it says Jampa Sungi do Yimba means so his now this is pressed to his body, right? The quality of the body. And then the speech, his speech is helps to sentient beings, to liberate from their sufferings. Humans give them some kind of relief, breathing, right? Breath, sort of like breathing. So then so it helps all these sentient beings. His speech is helping all these sentient beings. So even though his speech is helping all these sentient beings, and that actually forcing out, sort of like forcing out or the countering all these the negativities. But it has the quality of helping or giving this easeful or the what called the relief or breath or breathing. So then at the same time it's chasing away or pushing away all these obstacles.
That did it up at this.
There's not long.
That queen Lana, that to shoot down, Jenze pass. That draw time take Lana never. Lana never Karasuri. She then Lana, Tatus, Lana's in a corner. Draw queen, that Lama of Chirva. To queen. Jiti Japanse, Queen Lana, Tatu, Kona, Queen Lana said to Konas, and it Tatu Shujan, Dre, Jenzepes, Dua Tam Jiggy, Kona, Tatu Shubarete, Dre, Jenzepase, Dre, Teos in the Yopurva. When you are Jampa Japanese, do a shipji, Sugarba, do a 20 year Bachasan, do a dance a basse, dance at Danios at Voti, dance a base, and Jamia tea, Menju, Zebeta to Junju cheese, and tea Suresina. Allah Garza, Lama Tsongkhapa, Jampa, double Chigirba, Dre, Tenyo, Zebetan, Dre, turn the Yerba, Dre Shapchishu Yerba, Chesane, Dre, dance to Yobus Yerba, Shapchishu, Yobus Yerba Chita, Voti, Dre, dance, Ani Surias and Lama. Jamia tea, Menju Zebe, Tatu Chunj, Lama Jambayan tea, Metu Chun and Zebagi, Tatu Chunju, cheese, Roa Tamche.
So then the third line it says, your position or you remain always, you always remain ahead of us, in front of us, and you always. Remain in front of us means you're always being leader to us and providing all this liberation to us, right? That means you're remaining in front of us or ahead of us, but and you're acting you are acting like a servant of all these sentient beings, right? So then the Manjushri is actually leading all these sentient beings, right? Sentient beings. So he's always been like a leader of all these sentient beings to cross to the other side, right? But he's acting, or he's always act as the servant of the sentient beings, right? So then Jamyanti Meju means it's that kind of activities. All of this, you see, all these his qualities, sort of qualities, and that is very amazing, or it's very the what you call grace, and then what you call the it's very amazing. So that kind of activities always, through that kind of activities always protect, or always protect me.
That in Ganshi Chushi then Leto Gus Ganshi, that Chushindu then some during Yukune, some begone dingus. She said this some begone dintu Jurgone dintu Sigerba. Ganshi Chushi then as a Chushi then some during Yiki. Sambagita, Devati Chituche, Joagi, any Ningula Sobache, Tede Tuishin to Tena, Seatiri, Ganshi Tuishi Tena, Leto Kun, Delani to Devi Kochiputi, Shini Tampatiri, Shini Tambe Tinju, Nabjubas, that Dochoni Shavene, Shini Tinju Sigiva, Lamdi Najan, Shini Tinju Sigari, Nanetin, Lama Tinju Sigari. Jasanti among up to the Nigati Nantuga, Lama Tinju Sigari. Tuishi Tena Leto Kun, Rangilama Tuishi to Tena, Leto Tamje June, Jungriba, Jasan Leto Kun, Delani to tell Kochipus, Lama Teres. Nane Shevin, Lama Tinju Sigari, Done Shevin, Shini Tinju Sigari, Lamri the Chetane Shendulam, Shini Tinju Sigriba, what did it?
So then next line, actually this teaching is the devotion to teacher, and if you look at the prayers and everything, that's actually line up with the subject matter of the teachings. I just wanted to put it in. So anyway, so the Kangshik means like we just describe or ascribe the quality of the Manjushri, right? So that kind of being, like that kind of being. Suishin Tena means if you're relying on that kind of being, like properly. Suishin Tena means that there are two ways to relying on that kind of teacher properly. So one with your mental attitude and one with your physical attitude, right? Or the mentally and the physical, so the physical activities. So the mentally means like you develop faith in that kind of teacher, and then the physically or the activity is like serving the lamas properly. So there are two kinds of two ways to rely on teacher, right? So then if you're relying on that kind of teacher, which is described in the earliest verse, right? So then Lektsokun Dela Nyudu means Lektsokun means it actually helps you to develop all the good things, okay, the good qualities. Lektsokun Deladu means like it's easily, swiftly, or fast and faster. Then Gojigo. So then relying on this kind of teacher is the only way to, relying on in that kind of manner. That's two ways to rely on teacher. And if you're relying on them like properly, and so then that will give you all these good qualities. And since this is the only way to gain that kind of qualities, right? So that's why the Shinye Tambe Tensunabju then, because of that, so then the Chitan Nujin. So then I'm going to explain the Shinye Tensu means how to rely on the qualified teacher, or how to devote yourself to the teacher or something like that. But anyway, so the Shinye Tensu, here is the Shinye Tamba Tensu, Shinye Tensu. In Tibetan, we have two different terms. Then the Shinye Tensu, when we speak about Shinye Tensu, or when we use the term Shinye Tensu, that is more like Sutrayana. And when we say Lama Tensu, that's more like Tantrayana. We use that term in Tantrayana. I think it's in English, you may translate that as, Shinye Tensu or the Sutrayana kind of teacher. So you may say like the proper, what do you call this, companion, or proper, I don't know. Do you have any English translation special for that?
Spiritual friend?
A spiritual friend, yes, spiritual friend, yeah. And then in the Tantrayana terms, so you will say like, the spiritual guru, spiritual guru. This is two different things. So when the uses of these two things is because of the subject content, the subject matter of the text, depend on the subject matter of the text. And this actually has both, yeah. I will describe as much as as much as I can, something like that. So Chitan means like I will put out, all of my ability.
Tati Shabatam Chabatiriba, Chigetuya, Gyuji Jabu Gyuduta Rinpoche Tambules, Rishi Tambu Mutuni, Lobin Jesu Tang Yimbe, Lobin Meba Junani, Mutu Toba Migue, Lobin Tini Shabachas, and Tambu, Gyuduta Rimba, Tati Gyuduta, Gyusing it. Judy, Rimba, Tambo, Sinivas, in the air. Is a Rimba Tambo, Rimba Cheva Tambules, Rishi Tambu Mutu Ni, Lobby Jesu, Tang Imbes. Rishi Tambu Mutu Ni Mutu Tamje, Takanje, Lobby Jesu Tang is Jebba. Tambu Mutu Ni Lobby Jesu. Tang Yimbe, Jesu Tani, Jumpu, Jebri. Lobby Meba Junani, Mutu Toba Midus. Lobby Manani, Mutu Toba Jumari. Negabi, Mutu Tatu, Mutu Seba. Dine, Tumu Mutu Signata. Tumu Main Mutu Siat in Yerba. What do so? Toba Migu, yes. Mutu Toba Migu. Robin Tini Sheba Chachas, Dindegi Mutu Robin the Manamutu Toba Migu Sergi, Robin the Tini Shegi is, Robin the Tini the Rich Warriors, the Shegi in Jebber, Robin Tini Sheba Chas.
So, and a quotation from, it says in the first chapter of the Net of Illusion Tantra, right? So I'm looking on page number 29. Since in the first instance and in the beginning or the initially, when we do practices, right, accomplishment follows from the master. And since there's no there's no attainment of accomplishment without the master, so all of our accomplishment or the siddhi or attainment are coming from relying on teacher in the beginning, right? In the beginning, and then so here when we say attainment of accomplishment, so the attainment of accomplishment could be a temporary accomplishment and the ultimate accomplishment, and also the common accomplishment and the uncommon accomplishment. So all of these are actually can be achieved by relying on a proper teacher. So that's why I should define what master is. I'm going to describe you and what kind of the master you need to rely on.
That Choda to Mudu Sawanis, Cho Mudu Sanji Kuva, Sanji Kuva Tobula, Shini Rally Baris. Ani Tumu Mudu Jay Yerba, Otu Sutobalaya, Shini Rally Baris, Choda Tumu Mudu Kitawani, Shini Tamba, Suishin to Temba Nila Rally Baris. Ani Lama Tembe, Tis Jabba. The Lama Tsongkhapa, the Lama Tinju Shepu at the Karasena, Mudu Tam, Choda Tumi, Mudu Tam, Jagitawa, the Lama race. Just a Shini Tambas, Shini Sigari, Lamdita Jesani, Shini Tinju Sejuva, and Nacho Nation and Lama Tinju Sigari. Just a Shini Tamba Tushi Temba Nisi. The Shini City and the Jonas and that Shini didn't you see a thing with Sushin to Tembanilla Raleves, Lama Tempe, Chusujabas, that Shini Senator, Lama Senator, Chiba in Burba, just a Shini Tamba Sushin to Tembanilla Raleves, and Lama didn't you Sushin to Shebajas. Shini didn't you tell Lama didn't you say Lamdine and Shini Tinju Shediari. Nation and Lamas Tinju Shediari. Unichibari, Giresinita, Susulama Tichiba Imbre, Niba Yesan, Ani, the Karasubre. Sheni Dampa Chui Shin to Tempa Nila Ralebe, Lama Tempe Chui Tsuchi Ngabju Tempe, Lama Ngabju Sheba Javos, that Sheni Lama Tinju Tsuchi Ngabju use Lama Ngabju said that the Jaragi Kabaji Suni Karasa. Oh, Lubin Babi, that says to go. Oh, Babil Hagi. Suni, Lama Ngabju said. Just Lama Ngabju Namshati Jerum Chi, the Tantaki, Namshasiati. Lama Ngabju Kura, Lubin Papaja, Babile, the is Lama Ngabju Shija and the Sheva Chavus.
So then page 29 again. So it continues as they state here, the root of all common and supreme accomplishment, right? The common could be like there are 8 types of common cities, right? And the supreme accomplishment, when it says supreme accomplishment, that means Buddhahood. So all the is contingent upon serving properly a holy spiritual friend. Yeah, here it says, yeah, spiritual friend, right? And I am therefore going to explain 50 stanzas of Guru on the Guru, which shows the 50 verses of proper way to devote it to a Guru. Yeah, here it says Guru. Now you can see in this text, actually in the Tibetan text, it comes right after the other. Anyway, so when it says spiritual friends, again, that includes the teachers from the Sutrayana. And when it says Guru devoted to a Guru, so that includes the lamas from all the Tantrayana. So then anyway, so then in essential, both of these spiritual gurus are same. There's no any differences in essentially, they are same. So it says my explanation is in these 3 parts. Oh, okay. That's all.
Datine Pande Dambu Pande Doje Sembe Net of Gyumed, Lame Shebji, Bem Chishin duties, Jet Dujedi, Shijawa duties. Kana Dunita, Lame Shevini, Bemar Gubatilla, we Chamashu. Sumi Shindukuta, Shabji Pamela Sidu, Lame Shabji Wotili Pema Yerba, Pema Tsukubati, Pemul Shabji, do Suditamba, Pemul do Sudita Cha, Mashi Shabji, Pema Dilla, Dubas, the Shade Dumbes. Lame Shabji Pemar Gubatilla, a Gui Chamashi Sumi Shindukuba, Tati Pem Shabji Pemula Kuba Dune Siatigi, Shindune Kuba Chambus Shavati Chungiari, Shindune Kuba, Vati Lame Shabji Shavle Majid, Shabji or Pema Yerba.
So now starting the root text, it's on page number 31.1 by Homage. It said that having bowed correctly to the lotus feet of the Guru, who is the cause for all the attainment of glorious Vajrasattva states. So, and the commentary says the meaning of the word bow. Tuba in Tibetan, tuba, right? The bow is straightforward. Anyway, so the object of the bow is the feet of the Guru, or the thought of as a lotus, right? And taking the lowest part of the body shows great reverence, right? So here the object that we are bowing to is the lowest part of the Guru, and that at this point it's imagining that the Guru is sitting on a lotus or standing on a lotus, right? So then the lotus will be the lowest part of the Buddha's under the Lama's feet, the part of the body, the lowest part of the body, right? So then when he bowed to that object, that object that is the lowest part of the Lama's body, it shows that the greatness of his devotion, and also it shows that the intensity of his the devotion. So that he didn't pick any part of his body. All his bodies, his lamas, all of his part of body is holy, but still he picked the lowest part of the body. That is because of his devotion, strength of devotion.
다디네 고숨 그베 거네듯 고숨 그베 거네듯 이게 티지도 대바체 나 그거네니 라메 대바체 리지 거네니 차처를 수바 야나 나이 차처를 수바디 리기 야나 나이 차티 리기 두스제네 리기 차시야 리기 차티라 리기 그바체 야들 리기 차시야 나게 떠버지 지야들 아니 나게 차시게 이기 대박 첨부지야들 이기 차시게 무슨 그게 차체스네 이기 대박지지 두제 아니 리기 차체 나게 라메 윤제 주버스나 아니 무슨 그 어디리 무슨 그 차시야디 디리 이기 차스인데 이기 대박 구매들이 대박 친구지야디 이기 차스야 대하는 저 그래서 그래 이기 참 맞을 때 나그 또밥 맞잖니 이기 대박 친구지니 이기 대박 친구지니 하는 저 대박 구매 대박 kumsunan 이기 차스야리 되네 류기 차스인데 두스제데 류기 차스게 지난 류기 차스에데 야나나이 차스에지바 야나 탐제살법에 차스에데 양차들이 야나나이 차스에데 음자들이 아니 아른 두스제베데 류기 차리 저는 류기 그버제야데 류기 차스게 나기 라메 인델레서 가르쳐버데 나기 차스게 아니 이기 대박 대구 제버들라 이기 차시.
So then text goes on. One bows to the gurus with reverence, body, speech, and mind, right? In accordance with the scripture. And as the body, speech, and mind, in Tibetan is this, the bow with the three doors, right? That means the body, speech, and mind, right? So the physical, the body, speech, and mind, they're bowing with all the prostrations. Sometimes you call it prostrations, right? And then respect. So then we can do it with three ways: the physically, verbally, and mentally. So the physically is like there's different ways to do that practice. They call the short prostrations. That means like you touch your five limbs on the ground. So that is called short prostrations. And then the full prostrations means that you lie down your body like full length on the ground. So that is called the full prostrations. And then the speech prostration or speech prostration, yeah. So yeah, like reverent with the speech means like something like that. So that means like expressing the qualities of the verbally expressing the quality of the lamas. So that will be the speech prostrations. And the mind prostrations means like developing faith in your gurus and the 이게 차서 대바치 아니 가르치시는 대바치야 지구르베. That's okay. So you develop some faith in your lama. So that is called mind prostrations.
다디지. 다디는 그래서 반대도 지스네 네도 디르베.
라마 덴베 추 치다 덴바니지 라마 덴 고숨기 보니 치다 뒤베 추 송랍 예초마 치다신 뒤바오 라마 친다와 시나스
Guzung Gabekuni Sushita. Lama Chindrava Lama Chindrava Shina, Bende Seti, Peshi Toji, Ge Doji Taba Tambu Liu Dumbales, Shinimi Shiti, Shisumbata, Nisumi Shiki, Bear Rangi Tangi Tembe, Doji Sembe, Nesam, Gobantube, Gizaurikova, study Lama di Kendis, Lama di Chindrava Shina, Lama di Kendiji Resina, Ani Pande Doji Sembe, Neto, Gurguba Seti, Bell Seti, Bedi, Shin, Nimi, Shiti, Ship, Bell Seti, Nisumi, Berangu, Tanitun Zembena, the Dunisumi, she Seti. The belt shot, the rangi, Tanito, Dembatilla, Doji Sembe, Neto, Doji Sembani, Sinduga, Doji Sembani, Doji Semba Juduba, Sheba, teacher, Doji Sembashan, Janju Chogi, Shikan, Dini, Doji, never chooses. Janju Chogi, Janju Chogi, Lana maybe Janju Tri. Janju, Jidan, Janju, Sumyari, Nindubi Janju, Rangi Janju, Tiba Chimbu Janju, Tadinani, Janju Chosina, Sanji Jukubanti Siri. Oh, Tiba Chimbu Janju, Lana maybe Karasa, Chodi, Sanji Jukubanti, Sanji Jukubantu, Janju Tabari Sigraba, Janju Shingdu. Janju Doji then Janju Shinguiva Janju Shing Siati Tomba Sange Junde Doji Ding Sange Barba Janju Lana maybe Janju Nesati Doji Ding Barba. What is any Janju Shing Siashtuba? The Shing Siati Lana Sange Jukuba. Tajabu Tumbati Sanji Kubaniesati Doji Denba. The Shing de Janju Shing City Sanji Jumde Mombasuba Janju Sanji Benzeba Density the Shing Dinsa Janju Shing Sierra Janju Seti Sanji Jumde Sanji Jukuba Montuchi Seri Shingdi Yerba Chiji Duba Chiji Jetili, Stigan the Shuni, and Sanjay Yansan Dojit and Mumbas of Sanjay Simba, the Shingdili, Janju Shing Siati, Sanjay Jumde, Lana maybe Janju Yesagi, and Shingdi Yerba, Shingdili Kujab Deni, Lana maybe Janju Toberba. Just a change of Shing say at it.
So then goes on like it says as is said here, the Guru has his nature of glorious non-dual transcendental wisdom. Okay, he has this glorious or shiri, right? And in Tibetan it says Balden. So this word actually supposed to be coming from the root text, yeah. So it seems like I don't see the root text uses any glorious in that one, right? Anyway, so Balden, right? Balden in Tibet is a Balden. Balden Doji Sempani. Okay. So let's see. Do we have that Balden Doji Sempani? Maybe I'm oh yeah. Martesho Palden Doji Semba. I don't see it. Anyway, so Palden in Tibetan, I think they Shiri, right? Shiri in Sanskrit, I guess glorious, they translate as glorious. The word glorious here, it said that the word glorious, glory. Oh yeah, glory of Vajrasattva is there. Okay, it's down there. So describe the kind of guru to whom you want whom one bows. The 7th chapter of the glorious, Shiri, glorious in Tibetan, Balden. So that means a non-dual. Okay, non-dual. We use these words before addressing the Lama, because the Lama is the one who actually possesses these two qualities. So that's why we have this the honorific kind of words in front of Lama. Okay, Balden Doji, right? Doji Sempa. So then the next one is very straightforward actually. It says here the Guru has this nature of glorious non-dual transcendental wisdom. As such, is the root causes of all the attainment of the state of Vajrasattva. Okay, the meaning of Vajrasattva is giving Vajrakara Tantra explanation of the 16 sattvas being. Okay, why is such a being called Vajrasattva? The transcendental wisdom of supreme enlightenment is definitely called Vajra, an indestructible diamond, the one who arises from the indestructible and transcendental wisdom. Vajra is called Vajrasattva. Anyway, so the Dorji Sempa, we use Dorji Sempa, right? So the Dorji Sempa, Dorji Sempa is in Chanchu. So Chanchu Choki Yishikan, Dini Dorji means the attainment of Buddhahood. Okay, so Buddhahood, wisdom, that wisdom is called Vajra. Okay, that wisdom is called Vajra. So then that's why we call it that the Guru is someone who possesses that the attainment of Buddhahood, right? So someone who possessed that, that's why we address him as the Vajrasattva. Okay. So then and then Rinpoche goes on we call it Changchup, right? Changchup is Buddhahood, and then there's a tree we call Bodhi tree. So we call it Bodhi tree. This we named after actually Buddha was sitting right under this tree, and when he had this final kind of achievement or realization, which is Buddhahood, so it happens to be under that tree. And so then that tree we call it Bodhi tree, because that actually named after his attainment. So Rinpoche goes on that explanation.
That Janju Chogi Shit. Jidan Jang Sidi Jamba Tibetam Jepa Jampa Dije, Chup Sidi Sheja Tamji Tus Chuba Dije, Jang Chup Sidi, Jang Sidi Bangba Janjus, Jimni Baja de Jeba Bangbarba, Jangya de Garetsin, Tibani Dija, Jangya Jang Chup Sia di Chia di, Sheja Tamje Kung de Chubarba, Ni Chups, Jang Chup Sidi. Bangbayin data, Dobayin de Niga and Debate. Jang si to Bangbayin de Debate. Bangja Tamje Pa Jambarba, Bangbarba. Chusi di Sheja Tamje Tus Chubarba. Kimbayin de Jang Chusi to Wadi is a Jil Bangba Jang Jusi, Jil Doba Jang Jusi. Wadi is a that Jang Chup Siati and the Janju Semba says to Janju Semba did Toba Janju Dang Bangba Janju Nibuti to Tojas Sung Vierva Janju Semba Seti, Garis Semba, Jang Chup di Pando Nibuti Sanja Jumde di Pando Niga Tarchimberva Jang Situ Bangba di 탈침바제 춥신도 또바 탈침바제 어제서 방도니가 탈침바 고반디 산적이 니버바 다 장주 선바세야디 섬제기 돈도 산적이 고반돈도 니바 인사 장주 선바스게 어디서 장 춥세야디 디제.
So in Tibetan Changchup, right? we actually identify teacher as someone who actually achieved that Changchup or the body or enlightenment. So anyway, so Changchup, there are two words actually in one word. So there are two words. First one is called Chang. Chang means elimination or purification, and the Chup means acquiring, attainment, all this sort of thing. And there's two parts. One is removing, one actually acquiring. So Chang means we address Buddha as a Changchup because the Buddha is the one actually who complete that kind of thing, sort of that kind of attainment and abandonment. So there's two qualities we call the quality of abandonment. That means like abandoning entire negativities, and then the achievement, right? The attainment of achievement, abandonment and achievement. Achievement part is like he acquired or obtained or achieved all these the qualities, good qualities. So he is the one actually have done or complete, have that in total, have that kind of quality. That's why we call him Changchup, right? And there's another, this phrase we also use it for Changchup Semba Bodhisattva, right? Changchup Semba. So the same word, again, it's meaning same thing. So Changchup Semba means mind, right? Or in English, in Sanskrit called chitta, right? Chitta, I think the mind. Mind means like Changchup Bodhisattvas, we call them Changchup Semba, means their main goal is to achieve that kind of attainment. You know, the abandonment aspect of the path and the achievement aspect of the path. Their main goal is these two things. That's why their focusing is on these two things. That's why we call them Changchup Semba, someone whose mind is completely placed on that kind of aim, that kind of goal. That's why we call them Changchup Semba.
Dini sanje ji kuban tundu nyewa yinsen Changchup Semba seti Changchup di sanje ji kuban la shagu yare. Chang seti pangba tamje Chang Chup seti chenpa karisu sheja tamje chenpa yinsen Changchup seti Chang seti pangba gangalo pang pangja gangalo pang Chup seti tamba sheja tamje kundu chuba yinsan chup sigirba jazang Changchup Semba seti Changchup di gari shagusun sanje jukuban tisha this Changchup Semba di tabari semje tundu sanje jukuban tundu nyewe tatu tundu nyewa yinsan Changchup Semba sigirba odi yinsan munju mananzu sanje jukuban tundu nye tutu Changchup tundu nyewe yare Changchup nane sanje jukuban tundu jimaru situ Changchup di tundu jimaru sanje jukuban tundu Changchup sigirba bangba tamje Chang dan toba tamje kundu chubarba Changchup situ Chang ya seti bangba tamje bangbare sanje chup situ chengoya ganga chenbarba sheje tamje chenbare sheje tamje tusu chuba sigir wate Changchup situ Changchup Semba Lana mebi Changchup ngundu che se shituga sanje jukuban tutu Lana mebi Changchup ngundu che bares de Changchup ni tuga Chang situ bangba tamje bang Chup situ yende ganga tusu chuba yinsan Changchup sigiri oda di yinsan nganju sanje jukuban tundu ni tu zamba Changchup di topjar tundu ni Chita Changchup Semba seti sanje jukuban tsu topjar tsu jen tundu ni warba di ngarang zuwa di chigi yari Changchup sanje jukuban tundu ni di yarba 야랑 람바다가 산지 주고간 통에 지마루스 semje tundu sanji jukuban toba shobus manum jagi ani chi gyawa chi tu tamba semje tundu sanji jukuban toba gyuru gyuji samba chigi yarba
먼저 Changchup Semba yin sewo ro
Changchup Semba do mari Not
Yes, sir.
Janju Semba said the Tasha did.
Yes, yes.
Or the Janju Semba Senate and the Karasugre. Tibachimbi Janju Semla. Mountain Bachkuber. Dilly Janju Semba Sigaba.
So then again, the Bodhi or the Sangye in Tibetan, right? Sangye, Changchup. I'm sorry, Changchup. Again, Chang part is the elimination, abandoning all these bad qualities. Chup part is achieving all these good qualities, and this the Buddha is the one who actually complete in that thing, right? So he abandoned all the negativities. He achieved all the good qualities. That's why we call him like the complete the Buddha, right? Buddha, or the Changchup, or sometimes they call the Lana Mebe Changchup. Lana Mebe Changchup means the supreme, the Buddha, right? Supreme Buddha or the supreme Buddhahood. So then again, the Bodhisattva is someone who is actually focusing to achieve that. In order to do that, they're constantly thinking about how they can actually eliminate the sufferings of the sentient beings, how can they help to have happiness for the sentient beings. So their mind is always focusing on these two things, and in order to do that, they're aiming to achieve the Buddhahood. So that's why we call them Changchu Sempa, right? This is the thing. So now, so when we do practice, so we have that kind of similar kind of intention. So when we do when we do a prayer and we do practices, we wanted to help sentient beings, and we wanted to bring happiness for the sentient beings, and for that, and we also the targeting to achieve the Buddhahood ourselves, right? So that is the similar like Bodhisattva's activities, and then but nevertheless, this is not when we have this is we don't call it when we have that kind of intention, we don't call ourselves as a Bodhisattva, but we do have the Bodhisattva's practices in ourselves, because we have all this intention, we have this intention, we have this goal to pursue in ourselves. So that's why we can say like we do have practice of Bodhisattva. Right? So then in order to become Bodhisattva, so you need to develop a genuine bodhicitta. So that's why, so since we don't have this bodhicitta, so that's why we don't call ourselves Bodhisattva, but we do, technically we do have these Bodhisattva practices in ourselves. And then we should describe like in the morning when we get out, we set up our motivation, and then when we go to work and when we carry out our daily activities, we always try to have other sentient beings, and then the bottom of our heart, we always wanted to become Buddha ourselves. So we do have all these the practice of Bodhisattva.
Ngandu Sangye Chuto Chono Janju Patu Tani Japsis Janju Patu Sangye Jukuban Matu Patu Japsu to be said, Janju Patu Tani Japsis said, or the Insani Janju Patu said, Sangye Jukuban Matu Patu Kunjus Japsu to be Java, but Janju said this Sangye Jukuban Tilla. Tibachimbi Janju Sige. Sanji Kubatu, Tibachimbi Janju Tuberva. Janju Padu Tani Jesu Chess, Munju Sanji Jukuba Matu, but to Jesu to be in Sierra. Jesu Rosette, Sanji Chu, into Sungatilla, Sanji Chuta, Toji Chonamla, Janju Padu Tani Jesu Chess, Sanji Kuba Matu, but Jesu to be in Sierra, Janju Padu Tani Jesu Chess.
So, and also when we do prayers, the bodhicitta prayers, refuge and bodhicitta prayers, it said that I will go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve Buddhahood. Right? So when we make that kind of commitment, so that is Mahayana kind of practice, or the bodhicitta. So then we commit ourselves, make a commitment to carry out that kind of activities until we become Buddha. So that is, the Buddhist kind of like a Bodhisattva thing. And also, Rinpoche mentioned earlier, I forgot that point, one point. He said that when we get up and when we set up motivation, and then our main goal is to achieve enlightenment. So then when we have this ambition to achieve enlightened or the Buddhahood, so that is not someone who may have a different goal. Like some practitioners, they have different goals for their practices, and when we deciding ourselves to achieve enlightenment, that is the different special kind of goal. So that's why that because of that goal, so then all of our practices becomes like the Bodhisattva practices.
등은지 상계체도 소치추는 전주바도 다니죠. 시시여봐. 어디 상계체도 소치추는 전주바도 다니죠. 전주디 상계유고만 맞고도 잠주지기 인식에 다기 진소기를 촌은 진로를 편제 상계도죠. 다기 진소시디 진벌에 주에 교화하세요. 아니 디나라 진보하지 추dim이제 서바제 아니 순주이제 아니 삼대제 시럽제 팔진주스 지소주스는 진바 추dim 서바 순체 이니 삼대제 서바제단 준주제 삼대제 시럽제 딜러 지소 파지 주스게래 진바스제 진바세도 문제 진바 당기여 봐 추dim세 등은지 추dim 숨기야리 미기 추분 추dim이야 봐 소주분에 추dim이야리 아니 마진발렘바 밤에 추dim이야리 아니 그래서 왜 마진발렘베 밤에 추dim이야리 되니 그래서 그래 진배파지스는 진바당수는 진배파지스 진바스게 아니 세나제나 진배 로초들이 세나세야지 제가 다기 진소 이베스기도가 수수기 진바동 추dim승 아란도 강글로 추dim승기야리 소주 빵기야 봐 소주 빵버리 소주 빵한테 소주 빵데 추dim승이야 마진발렘 빵한테 마진발렘 빵데 추dim승이야 그래서 그래 소주제 마진발렘 빵하지 아니 로임 빵한테 아니 그래서 그래 아니 그래서 그래 그래서
미상부죠. 미상부죠.
네 추dim제 미정아 집아 밤에 추dim제 아니 서바 검수는 서바 콘도 밤에 추dim제 나는 저 서바 공부하러 와 서바 공부 콘도 밤에 추dim지리야 서바제 되네 그래서 그래
미상부죠. 주인 참아.
주인 참아야 봐 주인 방수는 주인 밤에 추dim딩 안 줘야 돼 나랑들 강글로 추dim이야다 추dim이요 추dim 생에 뒤에발 rabdu chunga chi inku kuya mare chungarab chi ta chabarab chi inku kuya mare ngana ganga chula chudim yare so juba pambe chudim yare majimba lemba pambe chudim yare kumang ma majimba lemba ani kondo pambe chudim yare ani chudim
마게.
나게 봉아, 세나 봉아. 어디서 간가 추dim스게. 아니 마진발레스나 취재지 중간에 추dim 마진발렘바 밤에 취재지. 추dim 쳐와서디 Majimba Lemba, Majimba Lingin, Jesuna, Majimba Pambe, Majimba Lembe, Pambe, Chutim Giari, Anantula. Tatin Digi, Majimba di Kumachipusuna, Majim Pambe, Chutim di Locho, Majimba Lembe, Chuje Jumari. Majimba Pangsuna, Majimba Pambe, Chutim Gilegua. Jenny, Mikichu, Chutim Siniting and Juliari. Mikichu, the Luigi Sumiba, Sojuba, Majimba Limba, Logrimba, Sumjerba. Jisumbuti Majena, and Luigi Sumpambe, Chutim Sumiari. Oh, they.
Sorry. So, okay. So then when we do this prayer, right? Sanghacha, Tsogacha, I go forever to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I become Buddha. And then whatever I accumulate merit by doing practice of generosity and so forth, right? So that includes all paramitas, 6 perfections. Yeah? So then when we do this prayer, so we are kind of, deciding or making a promise, sort of like, we are, determined to do all these practices, for that, to achieve that kind of goal, right? So our purpose is to achieve that goal. And then that's why, because of that, we are making these statements when we do practices. Right? So then, do we really have all these the practices within ourselves? And then, actually, we do. We do have all these practices within ourselves. For instance, like if you look at the 6 paramitas, right, the practice of generosity. So we do have practice of generosity. The practice of generosity means like giving something to someone who needs. Right? So we do this practice. And if you look at the second practice, is called practice of morality. Again, in the practice of morality, there are 10, and the basic one is 10 non-virtuous actions. We call 10 non-virtuous actions. If you refrain from killing, so then, if you have this, if you refrain from killing, if you make a promise to, staying away from killing, so that if you don't kill, if you refrain from killing, so that is called practice of morality. So then we do have that. So we made a pledge, we made a promise not to do this, and we don't do this, right? So that's why we should say we have a practice of morality because of that reason. And same thing if you look at the other negativities like the stealing, right? We do have, we promise not to do that, and we also restraining from doing that. And then the sexual misconduct, and then the lying, and then for the, okay, maybe do you want me to go detail? I don't know. It takes time, right? I'm just gonna go over and over. So I'm just trying to save time for like better one. Anyway, so then the what you call the lying, right? And then the gossiping, and then the what was that one? Like harsh speech, all of this, right? If you look at all this nature of these 10 non-virtuous actions, we do actually staying away from these 10 non-virtuous actions. So that means like we do have a practice of morality. Okay. So then, in order to have a practice of morality, you don't have to take Vinaya vows. You don't have to take monks' vows and anything like that. But without having these vows, but still you can practice pure morality. Yeah. So let's say like if you take the practice of morality, for instance, killing, right? Killing. So then you promise not to kill. You're staying away from killing. So that is practice of morality. Let's say it happens to be you kill something. Okay, kill something. So at the moment when you kill, when you engage in that action, so then you should say like you have committed one non-virtuous action. Okay, one non-virtuous action. That means that you're breaking this what you call this one vow, sort of like. So that means that on Delhi, on like in general, we keep this practice pure. Okay, we don't do. We make the pledge and we stay away from that. And sometimes we do, when we do kill, so then it's like we have actually committed one, what you call this, act of killing, and we break, like we tear sort of like one morality. Okay, but it doesn't mean like your morality is completely diminished or something like that. We keep carry on. We, even though we committed one the non-virtuous actions, but still we can have a practice of morality. Rinpoche is trying to point out that, so you should not think like if you do one the non-virtuous action, then you cannot restore, you cannot do any practice of morality afterwards. It's not like that. So if you break one, you broke one. So then you continue doing practice. Okay, this applies to all other 10 non-virtuous actions. That the game the machine trust. Against the world oh yeah, what is that? So doji sempa said ishi kasa dini doji nye ale deni is a doji nyeba ju doji ishi doji lechunwa dini doji sempa ju jesumba da chanchu sumgi chok te kona nidang yemeba shube chugi ku ishi ni doji dang tele chungi sugi sugni doji sempa ki deba tere
Tati karasune, doji sembe neto, julbu titiusa.
Ale di doji sembe di sung ma sung tanga kien khana ge.
Ale.
Yes.
Tintu tini. Shini pe.
Shiri ni me ishi des, shesum patar, ni su me be ishi di dros now.
Da janju chogi ishi ni tini doji ngeba ju.
No dire.
Ngeba. 이시 도지 레주가 되는 도지 semper 주시 숨부터 장중 숨기 초 대권은 이때 예매베 슈베 추주고 이시 도지 당 레주에 수주권이 도지 semper 다디 대동이 숨베베 이시디 장중 숨기 초 대권은 이때 예매 집에 슈베 추주고디 그 이시들 니 도지제 델레 주에 수구딜레 도지 sempa 다티 나란주 도지 sempa 세지여봐 산지 구딜레 도지 sempa 세지봐 도지 sempa 세네 도지 sempa 세다 도지 청세도 수지고 수지 도지 sempa 세다 도지 짐바 세지 두가 도지 짐바 세네 대동이 숨비비 시들 도지제 디투리 유니티리 도진 짐바세 디투리 유니티리 도지 청세
데레 대돈이 수미 비시 샤워가
너리
시그나 디수 말에 가서 예메버 슈베 가서 대권하니
예메버 슈베 대권하니 예메버 슈베 이시들이 도지 세제
인더스티즈와 님 어디 디 샤워라 가서 okay, so I'm trying to find this in English. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's on the page number 31 in the beginning, and maybe like 30 at down. Like, why such a being called Vachasattva? Again, Vachasattva or the Vachadhara or Vacha holder or Vacha mind. All of these are same. Okay, same meaning. So he says, transcendent wisdom of supreme enlightenment is definitively called Vajra. Okay, Vajra. Holding you doing like you okay. The indestructible diamond, the one who rises from the transcendent wisdom of Vajra is called Vachasattva. Okay. And then the Vajra, that is the main to supreme of three enlightenment. Okay. Enlightenment of body, speech, and mind, namely the transcendent wisdom of the Dharmakaya, truth body, merge indivisibly with the tattva, the basis of the reality. The sattva is meant and Rupakaya. Okay, so let's do this. Vajra sattva, right? Vajra sattva. Vajra refers to non-dual mind. Okay, non-dual mind here. I think Rinpoche was using Nimiya, non-dual wisdom, and another word that means the seeing the ultimate truth. Okay, ultimate truth, understanding or realizing ultimate truth, right? So then, so the being who has that, okay, non-dual. He's talking about a non-dual kind of ultimate, view or ultimate state. Okay, so then whoever has this, then we call Vajradhara or the Vajrasattva or Vajraholder. Yeah. So then the Vajrasattva we use the term for the Buddhas and the Lama Buddhas, right? Lama Buddhas, because of their reason, because the Lama possess that kind of quality, right? Quality. That's what we call him like a Vajraholder. The quality is the non-dual, understanding of non-dual or the wisdom of non-dual.
That is
No.
That is Lama Tembe Tenju Tambo Gubeteba Ungurcho Doji
The one is a Numachun Lona Master. Niban is a day Shaba day said. The longest original Madonna. Niban is said. Niban is day Shaba, the Hamadan by Imbe, do not do that to my loss in a duty. Day Shaba store.
The dirty,
they could another the Doji Samba get ever put down. Doji Samba the sun.
The Dana Gutile left ship. Niba showing your book for the swim set. Did do
Niba to sure. Dick Döller, you did even if they shower. Even if they shower day. So we should jump like one page down there. So I'm just reminding you, this is also oral transmission, right? You're supposed to read. Nibani te sheba.
Yeah.
This is what they might this way. Nibani says.
Nibani, they sheba, how much by Imbe. Do ne chisha. Dembani to me, Gyumed Sumba. The Dembani Timmy Gyumed Sumba, do two shepherd. Demba said, shaking said. The Tima made the Gyumambule Sumbati, and do two genital shaking Sumba. That is Lama Tinju, Tima made the Gyumambule Sumba, right? Gyumambule Sumsherva. That's Sumba, do two shepherd dinner, Gube in Yambergis, do two shaking the Chiran to Yapani.
So the next verse is on page number 31. It said, listen reverently to this explanation about being devoted to a guru, a short summary of what is said in many Stanzas tantras. Tantras means so then the author was saying that he will summarize, all these essential, the topic of the guru devotion, and that actually has been explained in different, many different Stanzas texts, or his tantra. Stanzas means like a unmistaken tantras or the texts.
Well, that in a Delaran Supabane, Serum Chitinma, the Lama didn't share the Ramsu de Vesena, Ramsu Maris. Change a lot of the Govainas, each Venezuelans. Teacher Chitayans, that can be Lama didn't share the condensation. Charang lot of Shavin and the Kum Mavichet in the Shavin, each Venezuelan Maris. Tima maybe a Luma Bullet Sumba Goba Yimbe, each of us. Then yet share the Lama didn't share the Tima maybe Lum, Gyumambulus
So then, so if you look at the English translation, yeah, so then it goes like this. So he said that he's going to select all these topics from unmistaken text and put it here and make it like kind of like a abbreviation of that version. He said that, right? He said that because that actually shows that this is not actually his personal kind of made-up or his personal kind of invention, right? And then if that happen, so then so then that will actually kind of what you call it, becomes like unrespectful kind of text, because this is like one being the personal kind of made up sort of like that, right? So that's why, because in order to gain faith from like either you or like or this disciple, so then I'm presenting all these teachings based on the teachings that has been explained before. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to select the main points and put it in the verses, and then put it in these verses. Now, this is not actually Tsongkhapa saying. I mean like the author of the root text. Sorry.
That tambu lama le kuba cheve tebas, lama le kuba chekuyagi, gyumed shunangde, gyumed kari yusune teba di tingi yesi teba sene gyumed. Oda di lama la kuba cheve teba ni yesi ya teba.
Lama le kuba cheve teba ni ko kinga ma chom isaya. Like kinga ma chom he is.
Vandu sa.
Yadu saman malesa siya.
Malya chare.
Lao.
Ani?
Okay. Let's.
Nyoka wala sumsi.
Oh, drima lao, the goldstones. Then the two. Oh, that might do the lao. Let's. Okay. So let's. Okay. So seems like Rinpoche is skipping all these outlines. Outlines are not necessary, I guess. So then here it said Lama Teba Tongi is the Urgala. Lama Teba.
Tambuti Lama la Kuba Chave Tebanis. Lama la Kuba Chekube, Gyumed shaking.
So then the first Lama Teba Chulrala. So okay, so let me look at the outline. Maybe let's stick with the textbook, maybe it's better. Let's see. Okay, the way to be devoted to good. No, how to be devoted to good. Actually, okay, let's see. Actually, the reason why we need to rely on teachers. Okay, why it is necessary. He's saying that in our Tibetan outline, he said that. So let's see what this is. There's 3 parts. Okay, to Guru in general, not this one. Anyway, so there he said that now the reason why we need to rely on a teacher.
Dati Lama le Kuba Cheve Tebati, Ongur Chodu, no Doji, Lobe Lani Tishishi, Chojuji, then come Shube, Dusum to Namachates, they Lama le Kuba Cheve Tebati, Gyumed Kari Ongur chodu doji is, ongur chodu tobes, on tingiba, gunyensile ongur chodu simile. Doji ye lobelani dishishiba namji, choju jide kam shube, dusung duni ngwanchatses, ani doji lobe tela dishishiba namji, ani dusung du 차츠기 야리스 이 초주지대 컴나 주베 두순니 두순두니 뭐차츠 라마라 아니 옹그루 초투투 라마텔라 아니 디시시바 탐제기 아니 두순두 차츠기 야리스.
So actually this is on page number 32. The outline is says correctness of being reverent towards a lama. Okay, so then all the teba means it's necessary. The why we need to do. Okay, it is necessary, something like that. So and then the root text is said at all 3 times that the Tathagata in the world in the 10 regions manifestly prostrate to the Vaisha master who has obtained the best empowerment. Anyway, empowerment, right? Onkur Choktop. Okay. In Tibetan it says Onkur Choktop means like someone who has like if you have said like loosely, so it's like someone who has a power, sort of like and the authoritative kind of thing. Okay, so then Choktop means that being actually achieved the supreme attainment. Okay, attainment, and Doji means it's the Vaisha, right? That kind of Lobsang, that kind of teacher, someone who has all these. And then again, Onkur says you are. In Namjunganzu Onkur is the word. Okay, okay. So now there's another word that means Onkur means like someone who can give empowerment, someone who has authority to give empowerments. Okay, so this is the one quality, right? Choktop means that kind of. So Choktop means like someone who has a pure authority to pure in a pure tradition, then the pure tradition, like a pure tradition to bestow or to convey to disciples, right? That kind of being, someone who has that kind of power, sort of like, okay, that kind of Vaisha, right? Now this is being who can actually, who is authority, who is like capable or like suitable to give empowerments. Yeah. So that kind of Lama, right? That kind of Lama is also respected by the Buddhas from 3 realms. I mean the 10 directions. Yeah. They also respect that kind of Lama. For Buddhas, and the Buddhas, they respect that kind of Lama, someone who has that kind of power, someone who is actually capable of giving empowerments. Yeah. So since all of these Buddhas are like paying respect to this teacher, so that is the reason why we should respect the Lama.
Wata Ongu Chotobe Doji Lobin the Lobin and the Dishisheba Tamjigi, Dishisheba Nam Rangi Ongu Chotopsagi, Gerishing Dilla, and the Choji then come to be Dusum to Munchate, Dusum to Chateri.
Or another word you can think of like so then the person whom I have received initiations, right? Initiation. So then this being is worthy to worship by 10 direction of Buddhas. Okay, Buddhas from the 10 direction. So that's the reason. So why I should respect my teacher.
순점 숨도 전에 차체와 제나 제레 신배 로만남지 따지 메스다 상계디 랑이 뭐 가니 상계 라마디 상마제비지 이버지네 데 상계베 아니 디 상계 남지 말도 공부토게 라마디 Kuvaine Delia, a dusum the Chatsiaris.
Excuse me, which is why. Sorry. Dusum said the Nadu Nimbu Gonda.
Samsung to Jene, Chatsina, Delation the Lomanam Gita, Sanje Nangi in the Chigin, and Lomanam Gita,
so then also you can think of like the Buddhas from the 10 direction, and they're worshipping my guru 3 times. Okay, 3 times means morning and Shogechi, Ninguru at noon and in the evening 3 times. These make 3 times, right? So then you can think of like even though let's say your Lama who actually bestow you the empowerments may have like less realization than you. Okay, so now this is something you should think about, right?
Lama di ngagi lama on tosagi on shusagi lama dire lama kanga.
So here when we say Lama in this text, this Lama always refers to someone who you have received initiations. Okay, initiation. That kind of Lama, talking about that kind of Lama. So this Lama could be less, may have achieved, like may not have achieved high realization as you, but if you have received initiations and there's this empowerment from him, but still you need to respect and you need to bow to this Lama because the Buddhas from the 10 directions and then the 3 times is worshipping that Lama. Okay, that Lama. So that's why you have to worship that Lama because of their reason.
Adi lama di rang on shusagi on nabataba topsagi lama di sigi.
So this, when we say Lama, so that means like someone whom you have received the complete initiation. Nabataba means complete or pure initiation.
Ngagi lama dirva nga shusagi lama dire.
So that means that you have, this is someone whom you have received a tantric initiation.
Da gube chule ni ningur chale chui chiri temba ta ni ses che.
Da. Gube khode shokales ta kyani. Chuju ale.
Ningur chale chui chiri temba ses dube. Zawati.
Ningur chale su temba ste do la.
Di jesa da dende.
Gube jube chule ni sra. Gube jube chule ni. Okay, now jump to the next section. Okay, the okay. So in the text on page number 35, it said that how one goes about being reverent. And the next one is for general teaching on how to be devoted.
Ningu chale chui chita temba se tita chodu debe dusum ningur chi chedan di jir chodu debe dusum jingo me do je teme domba lama ningu shi shabla ju cha
Oh, the exception. Okay, exception.
dube
They do no. Lost the text.
tale
The 60 time duration the other way.
okay sa da chodu debe dusum du se di chodu debe se dame debe ru chi je chida debe di lung ju gi debe dame debe yi chi gi debe de sum yari da di chodu debe se di dame debe di chodu debe dusum du
Unto get the Tame Tebani,
ngun du gi debe dame debe yi chi gi debe
you check it. Unto Tebasana.
nundu debe tobjati tu numba debe tu tundu ni wa tu nundu debe si
Tame Tebasana, rushing it together.
ya
Tame Tebasana.
dawe des
Your native
bes sem nyumon be nyoba de chen debe chi chia jerba odi dawe debe dang
Each ever said,
each
ever said,
be se di juzen tun
Jusen Tony each other.
debe che debe
Okay, so now the verse is says, at the 3 times supremely faithful with flower mandala. Okay, supremely faithful, right? Choktu Teba in Tibetan. Choktu Teba 3 times, you do it 3 times. So this here actually specifically talking about like a very specific type of faith. Okay, chokdu teba. So then chokdu teba dile sum yor sigore gengi.
Teba dile sum yare.
Sumche ngondo teba ji, dame teba ji, iche teba ji. Chokdu teba di kabar.
Dame teba dire.
Dame teba dire, right? Okay. So here it says supremely versus supremely faithful, right? This supremely faithful to very specific kind type of faithful, like faith or faithful. In general speaking, there are three types of faithful, right? The first one is ngonto. Ngonto means I don't know how it goes in English. You may figure it out. So ngonto means you're developing faith in your goal. Okay, that kind of you have a goal. You have really good, like pure faith in that goal to achieve. So this is one type of faith. Okay, aspiring faith, anything, aspiring faith. Okay? In Tibetan, it's called ngonto. Yeah, but ngonto means like aiming for like a high goal and having faith in that. That is called ngonto teba. Okay, Dhamma teba means like a pure faith. So here, Dhamma teba, pure faith means faith that is free from any stain or any negative thoughts, any negative emotion. Get that kind of faith. So this, when we say chok to have supremely faith, so that faith refers to that kind of faith. Okay, that kind of faith. Okay, and the third type of faith is like yichige tepa means belief faith, sort of like belief faith, belief faith. Yiche means belief. Okay, yichige tepa means faith that actually came from belief, something like that. The yichige tepa the condition is saying again just.
Yichige tepa the gyumed.
Okay, that kind of faith, belief faith means like you see reasons. Yeah, you have a solid the conviction. So then with that kind of conviction, if you develop some faith, that is called the last type of faith, yichige tepa. So here, this supreme faith is referring to the middle one, which is the faith that is free from any negativities. Pure faith, in another word.
Dene chodu dele dusundus, jingur medo je temus de mende ki chundu kuyo dene medo la suba mende ki chundu nala medo la suba kuyo ne ani ya pi temus medo je temus domba Lama Tsongkhapa that they appear in Gyumed. Shabla Jews that they appear, and Shabla Jews chat.
So then the next one it goes like with the flower mandala and the palm pressed together means like fold your two hands, right? And devote yourself to the teacher guru and pay homage to his feet by touching them and with your head. So this is how you practice devotion.
That's one that tele misayare. Na Rani Ratu Juan in the sister. Lomi Doji Lobi Chimbata Ranyamba Tobata Rani Ratu Juan in the sea. Doji Lobi Chimbache. Did the condition with a stick. Ranyamba Toba in the sea. Lobi Ratu Juan Yimbala. And that condition with us in the need. Rand Ratu Juan in the sister. Doji Lobi Chimbache. That Rand of Junti Rajuti Lomarba. Doji Lobi Chimbarba. The Chena condition with a stick. Ya Ranyamba Toba in the sea. Doji Lobi Rajunina. Ibata Rajulis. Ranyamba Toba.
Ranyamba Zoba said Rajamba Toba.
Yat Chubachinit.
Ranyamba Zoba said
Ranyamba Toba. Loma did Nimbatoba in Bache. Logan did Road to join in Bache. Teaching a condition. Tambuti Rani Road to join in Bache. Doji Road to join the numbers of a Kevin. You want to get with the Mambu.
Okay. So now the commentary goes like the exceptional. It's on page number 36. An exception, right? One might wonder when one is ordained and one's Vasha master is layperson, and should one engage in the show of devotion just described, or when one is full monk, fully ordained, but the one master is through ordained, not a fully monk, but a young trainee. Let's see, I don't know.
It gets over as opposed to get out.
Let's see. Rani Rabdu Chunga but Doju Lobin Kimachi. Rani Nyamba Zowa Lobin Rabdu Chunga Nyamba Mazowa. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so then at that situation, then how you devote, practice devotion towards your Lama. The Lama, yes, Lama. There's two situations, right? One is like layperson. One is even though they are ordained, but like not fully ordained. Yeah, so then how you practice devotion towards them?
Rani Rabjun Yimbache, Doji Lobin the Chimba in the Yerba, or did it in the Chikche? Ya Rani Yamba Toba Yimbache, Doji Lobin the Rabjun, Yamba Toba Mayimba Rabjun, Jena, Kitur of Gina.
So that is like, so you are fully ordained. Let's say that the disciple is fully ordained in what situation, and they have like they may have like two different teachers. Like one is layperson, and another one could be not fully ordained monk. So then that these two situations, how you carry out this practice.
Tati Chimbam Sabula Jedem Pambiche Tamju so doing that is. Rang doing the Chupudisha. That is Nimbato to Ran Chatelier. Chateti, most Chatesity, Chupudili Tegi. Send getting a Lamala chat. The eating Meba Pavataku Lamati Chimbari derva. Ran Rabtu Jumata, Nimbato Barican and the Jiting Mevachita, Rajum Chimbala Chati to Sina, this Meva Katangiva, or the Pambichet.
So then,
put it up in the suburb in the shop. Most chatted to leave it, Sembiti Lama chat.
So the verse number 4, in order to avoid this criticism of the world, thus holding the vows of the particular conduct should mentally honor to Guru, who is, right? And how the householder or novice, after having placed in front of themselves the holy Dharma and so forth. That means like in coming to that kind of circumstances or the situation, so then the Lama needs to put Lama as a lay person needs to put an holy object in front of them, or on the side, in front of them, and then the disciple who is fully ordained. So then physically they need to do a prostration towards that holy object, and then but then mentally then you need to make a prostration towards the Lama, even though they are that person. Mentally you need to make a prostration towards them, right? So this is you can there, and otherwise in a community sometimes they have like misunderstanding. They could have like create some kind of misunderstanding, and they may not understand the devotion, the level of devotion of the disciple.
That Lama the Chimberba, the Chate, the Rabjum Chatine, doing to Cheputilla Super Habut in the shop. They Chavi Sagi said, doing this Lama derba. He some Yiki Lama chat never said. That most Pachatayati big Tamju Chatigi was or the Jati, the Chimbam Sabula, Jidem Pambiche, Tamju lost doing that. They should in the chatters. Dushu Dimbas Rabjung Dushu Rabjuna, Lama Tsongkhapa, and Le Lama Chat Tegi with Chevres. Most chats the Cheputire Shai in the Cheput Tegi. Susu Samlutene Lama Dili Chats every day.
So again, when it comes to when we get into that kind of situation, again, you need physically you need to do prostrations towards the holy object. It could be a textbook, holy textbook, and then again, mentally, you need to make a prostration towards the Lama, and with your faith and with that kind of conviction, devotion towards your Lama. So then that can actually avoid unnecessary kind of situation or unnecessary kind of problems.
That Lama Chimbarva, Kati Chimbaso Lobin La Luigi Cha Mejibetis, most Cham Mejibeta, Jiding Mobile Pambichito, Mi Mabuyuna, Chati, most take Yamarva. That's sugar of Gina, Chachuya, that is Cham Mejibeti, Lameningu Tamje Mejans, Cha Chigumena, Lamalingu Ganga Chigu Yamarvesena, the Maris, Dentavata, Damata, Dentiata, Lamaya, Shantu Tambaraya, La Chiguerta, Dentavata, Damata, Dungi Javala, Super Dungi Javakari Chiguinity, and Lamechat Chiguri Chibres. Dungi Javaso, Ninguru Ja, Ninguru, Dushu Jengi, Jatis, Dushu Jensen of Jumati, Lamati Chimbaine, and Kanga Chevres, Chad Demba, Damba member Pang, Chaji at the Chiguamaris, Mimabu Sala, Sheptria at Chiguamas, Java Maiba, Lameningu Chava, Jim Jena, Dentavata, Damata. Dungi Javala Super Jashi, Dushu Jengi, Gun Jadis, Chada, Damba member Pangs, Chate Amaris, Damba members, Lami Shep Truati, Nius and Chibi Amaris.
And Susu Lama me manage your rest ladder with the tutor Chixun.
Ah, really?
Me manage your rest. Okay. So then, so this situation is talking about like in an environment that are in a public setting. We're talking about public setting. In the public setting, you should not do like physically. You should not do like a direct prostrations towards the lepers and guru, monk or guru, right? But and also it lists out like so there are many other things you can do in a public setting, public setting. For instance, instead like I didn't find in the English translation. It is in the commentary. It said like setting the cushions for the Lama, and then when the Lama comes, respectfully getting up in front of the Lama, and then the Döngi Chawa. So these are that kind of activities you can do in public, right? So Döngi Chawa means these are the meaningful kind of like activities you can carry out in the public setting, right? But the Dushu that there's someone who is ordained, right? They should not do. They should avoid doing physical prostration towards them, and then the washing the lepers and lamas' feet in the public setting, right? You should avoid all this. But if it's in the private setting, so then there's no any restrictions. What time is it?
Quarter till 9.
9. Okay.
8:45.
8:45.
Okay. Come on, Okay, let's have questions. If you have questions.
In the text where it says the Lama who's given initiation, I assume that includes like Jainang and Wang, both? Those two.
근데 그 라메 왕 낭세 저와 왕세의 제난다 왕 참아지기 요래서
이제
왕시
공시에서 매운 상양 시르비 시바세르바
참아 공개 거로
근데
알레
그러니까 온거리 두고 있는 두고 있는 디고 사슴다
알레 왕 왕시 때문에 세상에 제난
매운
소라
것은
그래서 제난 소라 줄라야 왕시가 요 말로 삼삼 매베 소라 근데도 된 된도아 어디서 뭐 그런 때문에 제난이라고 들려나 왕시가 요 말로 보면서 상황시라고 보면서 요 말로 근데 매라 소라 쉬고 있는 제난 소라도 so 딜레 라마 찍으로 했어 yes yes
Actually, please repeat the question.
what was the question? I can't rephrase. I have in my mind, but so maybe the question was like, is when it says Huang, the initiation power, is that mean like Jenang and the Wang both, right? Jenang is like giving some kind of permission, right? So
Okay.
the Jenang is so normally they are not complete initiation. They don't have like Rinpoche actually list out like the what you call the vast empowerment. Some secret empowerment and wisdom empowerment and what is the other one? Word empowerments, right? These are the complete empowerments, right? So, but the Rinpoche, it doesn't matter. As long as you receive any initiation, you should consider that as your lama.
Including a one.
Lung, I don't know. No, I mean the what is the Jenang. If you have received Jenang, so that is your lama. And you wanted to ask me to lung as well? Lung?
Yes.
Oh, and a lung shuai na. Lung means like a tantric lung, right? Tantric transmission. Okay. And then ngagi in the visit in the lung raji shuai na. There's what it is. Yes, that also includes. Yeah. Seems like anything to do with like a tantric, you should, I mean like practice that. This. Okay, any questions? No questions. Joyous marge. La. Come Jongadu.
Yeah.
Nanging become a chunga.
Yeah.
Just don't give me. Sure, no questions? 뭐 가로지만 돼 했는데 그러다가 롱 스웨시지.
다 되는 다 편주 다 그게 티그래.
자,
라마다니 로마다 숨벌 담지 냥주르베 다 바위 담불 로벤당 로멘데와 따버차스 다디 라마다니 로마다스 라마디 로마티 파다 로마디 체데데 버르지 이미다 로마디게 라마를 파다 라마디 추미데와 슈야 슈초도 메도 따야디 라마 로마디게 라마디 아니 최슈는 지기도 메도 따제체 아니 라마디게 로마디를 최시는 지기도 메도 따제체 어디 제고를 했을 때 라마다니 로마다 충발 담지 냠줄베 바위 담보 로벤당 로멘데와 따버차스 다 로벤당 라멘데와디 따제제고리스 때 로마텐 로마티게 라마티테는 디기도베 따제제 라마티게 로마티게 최신의 디기도베 따제제 어디 제네니 셰브리스.
So now page number on page number 39, it said that the reason to mutual investigation is necessary, right? And the root text is that since the pledge samaya of both guru and disciple would equally degenerated, the heroic should first investigate the relationship between master and disciples. So that means like the Lama needs to check on disciples, whether the disciple is a proper the vessel or not, right? And a proper candidate for this practice or not, sort of like, you need to check on that. And then also the disciple needs to check on Lama as well. So then you need to check on Lama, like, if the Lama is the qualified Lama or not, and an appropriate Lama or not. So you need to check on Lama as well.
Tataya di deri, Bangje Tsini, Tati Bangje Tsini, Genje Tsini, Bangje Tsini, Bangje di, then Bangje di, then Bangje di, then it been Londe Lume Lama Ninji Meijing Chola that Loma di Londe Lume Lama La Ya Ninji Meba Dindi Niji Tembachiku Verba Chola Duba Pondu Tabu Chingshin Chala Madambas Newton Jeba Sumbadis.
Okay. So now we are on page number 41. It says that the character of one to be avoided too. When you check on the Lama, right? Lama. So then that this you need to character to let's see. Oh yeah, sorry. It's on page number 40. It said the character of one to be avoided on Lamas. And when we check on Lama, you need to look at all these qualities, and if you find that kind of qualities, this is in the time to avoid. Anyway, so the verse, it goes like, the intelligent disciple do not take as a guru one who lacks compassion, who is bad-tempered and cruel and conceit, right? Conceit, and greedy, uncontrolled, and boastful. So this actually has so many, like explanation. So then I asked him, what we do it tomorrow? Okay. So I don't want to stop right in the middle. So then Rinpoche is going to go over again tomorrow.
That's nice. Yeah.
Okay. Sa shi bege jo she be to ta ri ra bi shin yin de kyan ba de sang ge shin do mi de ru wa yi du ge nam la shin la che ba sho yi na bo ro ra la ga ni ya da ya mi Rinpoche ma ge ba na ge ju ji kya ba nyam ba me ba yi on ne on do pe wa ra sho Ma sen je tam je de da de yu ji nian do tam je da du dong wa chan ju san ba su xiu ba de da gun ge me lang du ju ru ji ga re la re bo wei xin ga se pe na de wa ma lu jun wei che re se wa din din jia zu yi xia bei si de ba du den ju ru ji